politico.com.
All right, welcome back. Live pictures of Busan, South Korea. President Trump is inside for his meeting with Xi Jinping. President of China will be there in just a couple of minutes. About 20 minutes before the president of China was scheduled to land in South Korea, President Trump sent this out, a major change of U.S. policy. The United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second, and China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other countries' testing programs, I've instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. With us now, Congressman Adam Smith of Washington, Democrat, ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Welcome, sir. It is good to see you.
Good
Thank
to be here.
you. You're hearing this in real time, so are we. Your thought?
Well, we don't know what it means. All right. I mean, are we going to be setting off nuclear weapons in the Nevada desert again? I don't think so. I don't know what he means by he's going to test them, but making sure we have a robust nuclear deterrent is absolutely a crucial part of our defense strategy. And I think it's also really important that we start talking with China and Russia about how to deal with that. And China and Russia have refused to talk to us. So we got to get their attention to start a dialogue.
I almost hear like you're praising Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, but I talk about facts. I don't get into
I think what you're saying is that confronting China is something that needs to be done.
Well, no, don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
I don't think it's the end of the world that he's pointing out to China, okay, you've got nuclear weapons, so do we. It's way past time that we have a conversation about it. You know, and if this gets their attention, great. We'll see what it actually turns into. The most important part about this is to start the dialogue. China is massively expanding their nuclear arsenal. Towards what end? During the Cold War, we had very close discussions with the Soviet Union to make sure that we didn't stumble into a nuclear conflict. Those discussions need to start happening, and I hope Trump can force those forward.
Ambassador Baucus was on earlier in the show and said that he didn't think China wanted to be a hegemon. They didn't want to be a dominant force in the world. You disagree?
No, I agree with him. Sorry, I absolutely agree with him.
Even with Belt and Road, with everything China's doing?
I was just in China. First congressional trip to China that I led like a month ago. First one in 6 years. Look, China and the U.S. both need to get past the idea that one's going to defeat the other. We're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. We need to figure out how to coexist, how to live in a multipolar world. I don't think China is bent on world domination. I think they've been overly aggressive in terms of how they've engaged, particularly with their neighbors, and in terms of what they've said about us.
How do you stop that? How do you convince China that they will not be allowed to overrun Philippine Islands? They won't be allowed to bully the rest of the world.
Well, you deliver that message. That's what I did. I delivered that message to a number of different top-level Chinese. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's great that Trump's there. I think Secretary Rubio should go there. You start by having a dialogue so that we're not shouting at each other from a distance. Look, China's invested in having a reasonable global order, and so are we. We have to find a way to coexist.
And you think Xi Jinping is willing to coexist in a way that doesn't involve China lying and cheating?
I don't know that we're going to get there yet, all right? But just being willing to coexist is a starting point. Look, they don't trust us, we don't trust them, but we need to start having a conversation about how we can get to a better place.
And leading with strength is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't, I'm not sure that it's the be-all and end-all that Trump said we're going to test nuclear weapons. I think it's vastly more important that he's there, that he's having a conversation with President Xi. That's the part I'm really focused on.
That conversation about 10 minutes away. Congressman, it's good to see you as well. Thank you very much. Back to South Korea when we come back.
Banfield, next on News Nation.
This is Drake May. This is Drake Maybe. Drake May sweats in the gym, but not over his investments, because he uses Betterment to automatically diversify and rebalance his portfolio. Drake Maybe sweats too, because he went all in on Snoozle Coin. Drake May even uses Betterment to optimize his after-tax returns, so he can optimize his nautical folk art. Drake Maybe doesn't optimize, well, anything.
No.
Focusing on your life more than your money. That's the Betterment effect.